Check, 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 check. Check, check. All right, we're in here. Let's get everything up and running. One second. All right. Let's get this started. One second. TikTok Live is back up. 1 second. There we go. Docs. Oh my God. So much to do to set this up. What's going on, YouTube? 1 second. I see you in the comments. What's going on, Gianna? Just getting all my stuff set back up since I can go live on TikTok as well now. Okay. Yeah, here's Shelly. I have beef with the snowstorm. Hi, yo. What's going on, guys? Atlanta, best snow guess. We're going to get into that in just a second. What's going on, T-Money? We're going to go over all this stuff in just a second. I've had a lot of caffeine today, but I think I need some more. 1 second, guys. All right. We're back, baby. Easter. Yeah, it's very cold everywhere. I'm going to quickly go over all of our latest updates, and then I'm going to start answering questions, as I normally do. I got to refill my Red Bull fridge. I got to refill the Red Bull fridge. 1 second. I literally just started live 2 seconds ago, so we're getting started in literally a minute. Refill the Red Bull fridge. I would hate to ever be doing a live and want a Red Bull and then there's no Red Bull available. I can't imagine anything worse. We're good now. Thank God. Is my audio working on both? Okay. Mezzo's about to get on. Sweet. Mezzo's gonna be Mezzomat's gonna be doing a live stream as well right now. MESOMATT. If you guys don't already follow him, show him some love. We work closely together, so shout out to Mezzomat. Exactly. Let's grind. It is time to grind. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, guys, I am going to quickly go over all of our latest updates. Don't worry. I have all the maps out for you. We have the latest updates. Let's get our latest national blend in here. Let's take a look at all of the important maps. All of the important maps, okay? And we got windy up. What do we got going on our radar right now? All right. Ooh, it looks icy. Looks very, very icy. Here's our latest NWS probability of snowfall. So we're going to look at that. Okay. Our latest Euro. Let's just quickly start off with, I know people want to know snow totals. What are our chances? We'll quickly take a look at some of these updated snow total percentages, probabilities, all this stuff everywhere. And I'm going to go over all the stuff, and then I'm going to get right to answering your questions. Trending more northwest. Do you think this might bring more snow? Winston-Salem. It's possible. We're gonna go over that right now. Let's just start somewhere. South Central. Our Euro's gonna do good here. We're close enough. Our Euro's been doing good short range. Weirdly enough, this this winter. Not weirdly enough, but it's not a short range model, but it's been doing pretty good short range. Okay. I just posted a video talking about all this stuff as well. Again, I've been talking about how much, for like the last 4 days, how much these models have really loved this corridor of snow. And as I talked about in my most recent video, though, that I posted today, I'd be very cautious about this coastline snow seeing this 4 to 7 inches, because you're going to have some warmer air in the mid layers. You're right off the Gulf. You're going to see some sleet. You're going to see some mixing. I think the best thing for your snow totals down there is to look at our European ensemble like this. So even this seems like a lot. So you've got about 3 inches down here, up the coast, down into basically New Orleans. I'd say 3 to 4 is a safe bet. But who knows? Hopefully I really hope for you guys down here that I'm wrong, because I know that everyone's really excited for snow down here. It's been forever, as it should be. It should be rare to get snow down here. But I do think a little bit farther to the north, we will have some areas actually getting some of these numbers that you're seeing, potentially getting some of these numbers that you're seeing. Let me go back into here we go. 1 second. Let me get into, was that the 06Z that I was looking at? We're on a 10-to-1 ratio now. Ooh, don't want to, okay. Why is our Kuchera more than our 10-to-1 ratio? All right, so yes, through here, Houston, I think, could receive anywhere from 3 to 4. I still think some of our heaviest snow is going to be to the north and to the east of Houston. But again, it's possible. Pushing up over into Lake Charles, out towards Baton Rouge, I think you may get closer to the 5-inch totals. I think some of that, more of that mixing is going to happen to your south, to the south of Baton Rouge. I think New Orleans is going to have a tougher time seeing some of those really heavy totals up in the 6, 7 ranges that some people have been talking about. We can take a look on our latest NWS data, which they did pretty good with our last system up into the northeast, except for they really got it wrong. We had Maryland and portions of Northern Virginia really struggle, not surprisingly, because that is where our mixing line was, down here and then in southern Jersey. But here's the latest from the National Weather Service. This is a little bit more realistic. See, you can see now they're saying New Orleans, like, the Euro thinking 6, 7 inches in Baton Rouge, I think, is unrealistic. They're saying about 5. Look at their high-end totals, though. Their high-end totals are crazy. Their high-end totals really don't change anything about the New Orleans area, but their high-end totals do want to bring 6 to 8 inches into, like, Lake Charles, out towards Lafayette and Baton Rouge. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're gonna actually be a little bit under expected totals. So I would put this blue line in here in between 3 to 4. I'd put your totals out here in this second circle, probably in between 2 to 3. But just like our snowstorm we just had up to the northeast, you're going to see underperformances and overperformances here. Just to remind each other, snowstorms don't work like this. Like, oh, here's a blanket of snow. It's going to move. I have to be careful how I draw this image. It's going to move out to the east like this. Everyone's just going to see a perfect amount of blanket snow in this area. That's not how snowstorms work. That's not how thunderstorms work in the summer. You'll have bands like this that set up like this over certain areas, and you'll heavy overperform, and then you'll have pockets of 2 to 3 inches of underperformances. Okay, when you see a snowfall forecast like this, they're talking about what they think your local, not your local, but more of your regional snowfall, what it's going to look like. So, if you're in this 5-inch area and you get 3, that means you didn't have some good banding moving over your area. For instance, I live north of Philly. We got about 4 inches outside of our house. Literally 15 miles to the west of us, they got 7. I mean, not even 15 miles. It's like 5 or 6 miles. And I watched it on the radar as the snow was happening. You could see the heavier band just to our west. It's almost impossible to predict how the bands are going to set up, because that happens in real time. Your snowstorms are changing and everything's happening in real time. So, but this is a pretty realistic look, okay? Now into southern, people wondering up here to the north, you are going to be very cold up here. There are going to be some stray showers up to the north. That's why locally an inch is possible up here in these light blue areas. Some areas up here are only going to see a dusting or nothing, but locally you can have some stray snow showers, and you're going to be in a really good snow ratio up here. You're not going to see mixing on the north side of this storm. Meaning any snow that falls is probably going to accumulate. Your ground temperatures are maybe a little bit warm, but they've had some time to cool down. Same thing as we move out here to the east. I do think the NWS doesn't like any snow really right now up into North Carolina. I think this is going to change. I think our snow totals will increase up into here, up into this area. If you're wondering about snow in North Carolina, I do think we'll see snow totals increase in here up to an inch or two at least, or more. Maybe we'll see right through here. NWS does still like an inch or two. Again, southern side, we have to worry about mixing. So you can see, just quickly back to our Euro, if we push out to the southeast region, this is our latest European model. Our latest European model does like, you can see the snow actually up through coastal North Carolina, coastal South Carolina. This, wants to put almost an inch into Atlanta. Now, why do I think this is possible, even though this is so far to the north? Again, good snow ratios up here. If you get a snow shower passing through, you're not going to have any mixing. You're not going to have freezing rain. This is going to fall, and this is going to accumulate quickly if you get a good band of snow to shift off to the north. But this is going to be extremely localized to the north. There's not going to be a heavy blanket moving through. Your blanket of snow is going to be down here. So, again, it's going to be sporadic to the north. Don't expect to get an inch of snow up through here. Some areas locally will. Including potentially Charlotte, maybe up to a half inch. I don't know. Again, you're not going to have to deal with mixing. If you get a stray snow shower up here, you get a little bit of banding, a little bit more moisture wrapped into your system. We are going to have a neutrally tilted trough as it moves off into the east. So as it's pushing through down here, it's going to be positively tilted, although we're just going to have so much Gulf moisture, it's not going to care. It's going to dump. As we push off to the east, we'll get a little more of a neutrally tilted trough, not negative, but neutrally tilted trough, which will try to throw a little bit more snow inland. It'll try, and it's still a possibility. That's why when we go to our European ensemble and we look at our probability of snow, don't worry, guys. I'm going to get to chat in a second. I'm going to answer as many questions as I can. I just want to get through this. That's why when we look at our European ensemble, we still have our chance for an inch or more of snow up here. They still keep this possibility because we will have a low pressure that's slightly deepening, and you could get some snow showers to the north. You're not going to deal with mixing. It's just going to be pure snow if that's going to be falling up there. So, again, Panhandle of Florida, look at this. 90% chance of an inch or more of accumulation. That's pretty good. Almost out to Tallahassee, basically out to Tallahassee. Jacksonville still has a chance. Pretty crazy that you really, these 90 to 100% chance of an inch or more of accumulation in these red areas is pretty wild looking. Pretty wild looking. You're going to be really close in Raleigh. You're going to be really close in Charlotte. You're going to be really close in Atlanta. Still a possibility. So that's what's going on with this. 1 second. Before I get to questions, I want to show you one last thing. Give me 60 more seconds, and I'm gonna get to chat. What's going on, everyone? By the way, I'm really happy to be live streaming back on TikTok, and I'm live streaming on YouTube as well. But what is popping? Last thing I want to show you guys. Last thing I'm gonna go take as many. I'm gonna do speed round, take as many questions as I can from chat. I want us to watch this winter storm right here. I know it doesn't look like anything right now, but I want us to watch this. What could happen here? Because we're going to have a negative WPO, a negative Western Pacific oscillation that can bring cold air to the east. Our NAO is going a little bit more positive than I thought, not neutral. That may take away our southern chances for another southern storm before January's over, but we'll see. We are expecting, let me quickly show you, this is the last thing I'm showing you. We are expecting one more dig of a trough, and this has to do with the WPO right here. If this is far enough out, we'll have to see where this moves in. But if we get this to dig a little bit farther to the west, this troughing system right here, we could see some more snow. I don't know if we're going to see it in the south, but it's possible. Low chance, but it's possible. But probably up towards the mid-Atlantic and northeast. So we're watching that. That time frame is 28th to the 31st now. I think the timing's moved a little bit, but we're still watching kind of this event right here out east. And then it looks like we're gonna kind of, our temperatures are gonna mild out. Our activity is gonna really enhance in the west. This would be wild. This is far out. Take this with a grain of salt, but I think we're gonna see some significant winter weather back out west, southwest, up through the northern plains, potentially in the Midwest. Our activity is gonna return for our people out west. Okay, we haven't forgot about you. The climate hasn't forgot about you. I think you're gonna get a lot more wintry weather in the first half of February. We'll see if it pushes through the third week. We'll see. Might switch back second half of February back east, but we're going to see. All right, I'm going to get to chat. Let me pull up a few things, and let's get started. Let's pull. We'll look at our latest Euro, if anyone wants snow total. Oh, by the way, ice, Savannah, Georgia, down to Florida, Georgia line, potentially through Jacksonville, this area. If you live here, prepare for some ice. Get some bottled water, some food, some batteries, emergency kit. Trust me, this could be a shit show. Just saying, I'll show you that in a little bit. All right, let's get this up. Global deterministic, surface, winter, Kuchera. Let's see what type of questions we have. There we go. Perfectly. Yali, Christina, Ike, I appreciate you guys. Anyone Long Island up anymore? Or I think you meant any more Long Island upcoming snow. Got like 2 to 3. Nice. I'm looking for 6 to 8. Yeah, I'm glad Long Island did get some snow though. That's awesome. Potentially again at the end of January, we're looking at that system. That would potentially be Long Island snow. Yeah. Is upstate South Carolina getting more snow? It's possible. Like I said, but we could see some stray snow showers to the north. Thought you took the day off. I took the day off yesterday. It says it on my TikTok. I have to erase that real quick. I took the day off yesterday, but I should have deleted that part of the story today. Delete. There we go. Problem solved. Thanks for that. Let's see here. Do you think the shift would be last minute or snow surprise potentially? We're not going to I doubt we're going to see a shift, and we're too late for a shift really far north. Again, we could see a deepening low pressure as this moves up the coast that could help to pull more snow inland. That is still a possibility. And with these very cold temperatures to the north, we'll have some stray snow showers up to the north. It's inevitable. So we'll have to see what type of localized accumulation we can get from one of those bands. Do you think Atlanta schools will be closed because of the half-inch of snow? Well, you don't know if you're going to get a half-inch of snow. They may. Out of an abundance of precaution, they may, because the chance of a little bit of snow in that cold of temperatures that Atlanta's not used to, it's a possibility. Do you think a shift, let's see. Okay. What's the new HRRR say? Yeah, we can look at... Oh, that's true. We want to look at the new HRRR. That's important. That is important. Let's get down there. Look at the new HRRR. We can look at our Kuchera. Okay. The new HRRR is being super, super, super bullish on southern Louisiana. Absolutely insane. Wants 8 inches into New Orleans. Take that with a grain of salt. I mean, there's going to be mixing down there. I hope you guys get 8 inches. I'm rooting for New Orleans to get 8 inches. I know a lot of people down there would be excited about that. But, you know, this is a pretty tight... I mean, it wants almost 6 inches into Tallahassee, too. I can't imagine that happening. But, you know, Houston, it still likes about 3 to 5. Maybe more. Maybe 4 to 6, actually, based on this look. Yeah, so I can show you that really quickly down here. HRRR, for you guys who don't know, high-resolution rapid refresh model typically does the best within 12 hours of a system moving through. Here we go. So that is our latest HRRR. This should be our best short-range model. I can promise you it's not always the best, but sometimes it can be pretty good. Once you get really, 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 really close in. Once you get really, really, really close in, it can't be. So you could see, I mean, it wants like 3.5 into Houston. It wants like 6.5 into Baton Rouge, almost 7 into Lake Charles, 10 inches into New Orleans. I don't know. Take that with what you will. You guys know that I don't like taking the high end of these snow totals, because 8 out of 10 times you do not get the high end. It's just how this stuff works. Yeah, I mean, Tallahassee, 4 inches. Can you imagine? Savannah, an inch or 2. So, Mobile, you could see anywhere between 3 to 6 inches based on the HRRR. This is not what I'm saying. Through this corridor right here, you know. You expect 3 feet of snow, Connor? I'll try. I'll call my people and tell them to make it snow more there. DC only got 0.4 inches yesterday. Yep, huge underperformance. Yep. And I talked about this yesterday. I don't know if I can go back. There was, now, this corridor right here, the NWS, the NWS was calling for about 1 to 3 inches. So I thought at least a minimum you were going to get your one low end. This, out of everywhere, out of our entire snow system yesterday, the biggest underperforming area was Maryland and Northern Virginia. I was estimated to get 5. I got 4. I was fine with that. Central Northern New Jersey did pretty good. Long Island, a little bit of an underperformance, but For the most part, Long Island got about what was expected. The NWS, I told you guys yesterday when I was looking at the National Weather Service, I told you, I could just tell you, yes, I agree with the National Weather Service. Here's all the best meteorologies in the world, and I agree. I told you I thought the numbers were bullish. I told everyone, trust me, I've been doing this a long time. I told everyone, I understand this is the National Weather Service. I would still pull back on the totals. And I was 100% correct to say that. But I still at least thought, what I did wrong is I still at least thought you would get a couple inches down there in Northern Maryland, Central Northern Maryland, Northern Virginia, underperformance. So I didn't see that coming either. They thought you could get up to 3, whatever. But I was right to say pull these totals back for most people in the Northeast because most people saw an underperformance. Most people just saw a minor underperformance, although this area saw a major underperformance. This is what happens in every snowstorm, though. So too much mixing down here. Your snow started 6 hours later than it should have because there was so much mixing. So, but that's why you have to be cautious about this stuff. Okay. Let's see. But even I thought you guys wouldn't get away with that without at least an inch or two. So, yeah, that was a tough call. I appreciate the follows and the subs, guys. Yeah, mostly ran for. I know people were updating me in DC and Baltimore in my inbox. They were like, "What the heck, dude?" I'm like, "I know." Same thing happened where I lived. I live north of Philly, and our snow started about 5 hours later than it was supposed to, but we still almost hit our total because the back end snow was so heavy. A band set up between Philly up through Trenton, and it dumped heavy for like 3 hours. So we went from like no snow at like 6 p.m. where we should already have 3 inches to then 2 hours later, we had like 4 inches on the ground. So we got the back end. DC and Baltimore did not get that good back end snow. When's the February update coming out? We'll talk about what I expect in February right now. I've been speaking about it in every live and kind of been talking about it in my videos, but you know what? I will put that video out tonight. Tonight, after I get off this live, this is going to be a quicker live because I'm going live tonight as well. So I'm going to be off this live at 3 p.m. I'm going to make a video and I'll post it, and then I'm getting back on live tonight at around 9 o'clock. So maybe 9:30, but I will post my February outlook tonight, guaranteed. Let's see. Charlotte, North Carolina getting anything? It is possible. Like I said, the only thing positive you guys have going for you up here right now is any precipitation that falls, and you will have some passing snow showers locally in some of these areas. They're not going to be any mixing. You're just going to see pure snow falling out of the sky. There's not going to be sleet, graupel, any sort of other weird icy precipitation. It's going to be light, fluffy snowflakes with a good snow ratio because you're going to be so cold up here from floor to ceiling, lower, mid, and upper levels of the atmosphere. So we're going to see some passing snow showers. I don't expect anyone to get a big accumulation up here. Locally, a half inch to an inch might be possible with a good band setup. But if you're north of this main line of snow, do not expect to get accumulation, but some of you will, because you're going to have some snow showers that move off to the north. And it's going to be a good enough snow ratio to pile snow quickly, even if it snows for 30, 40 minutes. Weather Channel for Lafayette, Louisiana shows almost 12 and a half inches. Lisa, if you get a foot of snow, I will sell my house. Okay? So come back to me after the snowstorm moves through and let me know. I shouldn't have said that. I forgot this is on the internet. There's a 99% chance it doesn't happen. A foot of snow. No one clip that, okay? No one clip that. Thank you. I screen recorded. Listen, Lafayette is going to get a lot of snow. I'm not saying you guys aren't going to get a lot of snow, but over a foot of snow, that's a pipe dream. Ike, Yali, Julie, what's going on? Lil Bill, Julie, I talked about you guys up here. Let's actually really quickly skirt up into the northeast. All right. All right, let's move through just into Friday. What are we looking like? Actually, I want to get on. Let me get up into the HRRR. And let's go. It's only taking me 48 hours out. Here we go. Foot and a half of snow, Julie, maybe? I'd say probably more like a foot. Has that lake effect started yet? I'm guessing it has started. I'm guessing our lake effect has already started up there. I've been talking about all week it starting during or after the Buffalo game. By the way, I bet on the Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl now, so hopefully that was a good idea. But I'm assuming that lake effect snow is already starting to crank up. All right, let's see here. I'm working from home today. Nice. I don't have work today, which is awesome. I mean, this is kind of work, but I do have to get a lot of work done actually later. Do you think Tyler, Texas is getting snow? I forget where Tyler, Texas is. I guess I'll look it up. That far north, you could get a stray snow shower. I wouldn't expect major accumulations. I would not expect major accumulations. 20 miles south of Atlanta. Again, I wouldn't expect major accumulations, but there are going to be some stray snow showers. Let me, don't save. There are going to be some, one second. My thing's all bugging out here. One second, guys. Like I said, right through here, your snow ratios are going to be fantastic. So a stray snow shower locally, you could pick up an inch. So maybe 2, but if you're up here, I would expect a dusting to a half inch max. Your snow ratio is going to be really good. You're not going to deal with any mixing. Someone's going to get more than they ask for. Just around Atlanta and to the south. Someone will overperform up there. Do you think Houston will see heavier band snow? That's the thing. Where the band's set up is anyone's guess. But Houston's in a good spot, more of a central spot of this snow, of this, blanket of snow. I think it's a good place for some banding to set up. Long Island, New York. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait. As I talked about, guys. Let me get into something super quickly for you guys, so you guys know what's kind of coming at the end of January and February. Because I know everyone's wanting. Our winter's been so cold out east in December and January. Here's what's going on. Here's as we push into February 4th. This is right here. This is our AO. Okay. What does this mean? This means our polar jet surrounding the Arctic is strengthening. Now, a lot of people think a stronger polar jet means colder air in the United States. A strong polar jet means warmer air in the United States. Not necessarily. This strengthening, there's a lag behind this. So we're not going to immediately see a big warm up, but it's coming. This means that our low pressure is building up in the Arctic again. Our jet stream and our troposphere and our stratospheric jet stream are going to strengthen. And that basically acts as a force field to hold in all of that cold air. Hold it into the Arctic where it should be. Here's what's interesting. The biggest snowstorms in U.S. history that aren't mountain storms. So I'm talking about eastern, because you get a lot of you get a lot of the snow you get out west is basically that Pineapple Express, just moisture for days. It's not really like a huge system moving through. Out east is where you can get these huge, like the 93 snowstorm that dropped a blanket of like 2 feet up the entire eastern seaboard. This type of strengthening of our polar jet up to the north is going to build cold air up again. The biggest snow we see in the U.S., our biggest snowstorms in the U.S. are February into March. So I'm not going to promise anyone a huge big snowstorm in February or March, because that's just crazy to, February will be interesting. Yeah, that's crazy no one can predict that. But our polar air will be getting much colder in February. Our Arctic air will go back to strengthening. And this would lead us to an event mid to late February, to where if we did see a high pressure begin to build back up into our Arctic, and we did see a spill of that much colder air again, we'll see. This is why I'm saying I think the beginning of February is going to favor out west. I think you have your AO pushing back up, you have your NAO pushing back positive, you have your EPO pushing back positive. That favors cooler air out west. You're probably going to see some more winter storms. A positive NAO is going to favor winter storms out west. And our polar and our Arctic air up to the north is going to begin to strengthen. Our polar jet is going to strengthen. This is going to set up something very interesting for the end of February into March for some active weather, central plains and out east. Because if this, which the polar jet, the polar jet never stays positive, our AO never stays positive forever. This will go negative again. And the longer this stays positive, the more that cold air and that instability is going to build up when it eventually breaks again. This could set up something major for end of February, early into March. Major meaning spring tornado outbreak type situation, really strong winter storm. We'll see. But this is interesting. This is going to tame our weather out east for a little bit in February, though. 2-3 weeks, we'll see. We're not going to see, or not expected to see, major blizzards anywhere out east. Maybe up in the Midwest. But I'm talking south central, out towards the east, up the eastern seaboard. We're going to calm down as we get into February for a little bit. I've been talking about this since the beginning of January, and it's happening. But this is going to make our tornado spring season very, very, very interesting and potentially set us up for a late winter season snowstorm or two. So that's what we're watching next. Again, though, we do have one more chance coming up here for one more winter storm to push through the east before January's over. So before January's over, I'm still watching this system right here. It doesn't look like much on our future radar right now, on our composite reflectivity, but I'm still watching this because there's a little bit of a setup that could kind of that could push a little bit more energy into this system. We'll see. New Euro and GFS are pushing some snow in, still a possibility. Yeah. Dixie Alley and Ohio Valley peeps, be on alert for severe weather increase in spring. Yes, 100%. Mesomat's in here, guys. Show Mesomat some love. He is, he has a whole team behind him. They come in here, they help mod all of my lives. They are awesome. He does this full time. He's really great at live streaming severe weather outbreaks, winter storms while they're happening. Especially, I've seen his coverage for tornadoes and that type of severe weather, and it's great. So if you do want to show him some love, MESOMATT, he's really good at this stuff. So, but yes, spring is setting up to be intense. I'd say I'm 8 out of 10 on it's going to be a bullish spring, and we could see anything from really strong winter storms to any sort of type of tornado outbreak type of situation, severe weather outbreak. So this is a spring to be prepared and to be weather alert. Okay, let me get back to answering some questions. So Wavy, Travis, Cameo, Aaron, Randy, I appreciate you guys. I think I answered Tyler, Texas, right? I answered Tyler, Texas. Were you out of the chat when I answered it? Because Tyler's just to the south and east of Dallas, out to south and east of Dallas. Yeah, I answered that. It's possible to see a stray accumulation because you're going to have some pretty good snow ratio, a pretty good snow ratio up there. But you're not expected to get more than a dusting to an inch. I'd say it's going to be more like a dusting unless you get a nice snow band setting up over your head where you will have some good. You're not going to deal with mixing issues in Tyler, Texas. Here's our outlook, by the way, through the end of January. Average to below average temperature. I mean, right now we're below average out here. This is from the 25th of January to the 29th. And then look, we start to get a tiny bit of a warm up here as we push back into February, like we've been talking about for weeks. We've been calling this for weeks. We called it correctly. Let me get back to this map so you guys can see what's going on with our latest updated snow totals. Surface winter. And I'm going to get back to answering all your guys' questions. Holy crap, let's not go out that far, huh? We'll push back down to the south central. All right, there we go. Yali Tyrone, I appreciate you guys. Charlotte, North Carolina. Yeah, we've been talking about we've talked about that a few times. Listen, again, it's the same as Tyler, Texas. These areas just to the north of the snow line. The advantage you have this time is you're not going to deal with mixing. The disadvantage is your blanket of snow this time is going to be to the south. So you're going to get some stray snow showers that move off into the north that could quickly drop snow because you're not going to get any mixing. and you can get some good snow ratios, but it's going to be localized. You're not going to have a big band of snow. You're not going to have a big blanket of snow moving across this northern region. But any precipitation that falls to the north will fall as snow. It's not going to fall as rain or sleet or mixing. So, the possibility of some snow into some of these areas, it's a possibility of a quick accumulation. I'm not. Dallas, I wouldn't expect much. National blend. This is our national blend. So that's why, someone said that Lafayette, they're saying on their local weather station they can get up to 14 inches. The national blend's thinking 5. And this is a blend of all of our models. All of them. This is a really good model blend to look at. It tends to be more conservative, but as we've learned, being more conservative is always right 90% of it's correct 90% of the time to be more conservative. Tallahassee, Florida, yeah. I mean, the national blend doesn't like it there, but I think the European. I'm gonna say 1 to 2 inches into Tallahassee, Florida. I'm gonna say 1 to 2 inches into Tallahassee, Florida. I want to really say 1 because again, mixing sleet down there, but I'm gonna because I went to Florida State. The last time it snowed in Florida State, if I'm correct, was 2013. That's when I was attending Florida State. It was a light dusting, light snow. It was like a 1/4 inch in some areas, but I'll say 1 to 2. But let's hope the mix it. We don't want too much warm air into that mid layer as this system moves through. Oh yeah, I was just showing Texas. That's why I'm trying to go back. Snowed FSU 2018. Oh, cool. Okay, that's why I was like, I think it was 2013, but I can't confirm it. How much did they get in 2018? Oh, 0.1. I guess it counts. 2013 wasn't much either. There was one area of Leon that got like a 1/4 inch of snow. So Euro 12Z showing another ice storm for the south around February 1st. Thoughts on this? Let me quickly go into here and take a look. Around the first, that's over 200 hours out. I wouldn't pay attention to it. Yeah, I see that. Nothing to pay attention to yet. Over 200 hours out, don't pay attention to it. Once we get within 150, I'll start to take it more seriously. But I do think and I've been talking about this, possibility of one more winter storm to end January, pushing into February is possible. So not completely off the table, but I wouldn't worry about that this far out yet. More likely than not to happen. Yeah, if it's February 1st, weather models are useless, pretty useless. Yeah. The cold air, the troughing ridging at that time period is pretty believable, but the news is saying there's a major snowstorm coming to Utah. Is that true? Is the news saying that? When are they projecting that for? Yeah, potentially into this upcoming weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's going to be a good amount of snow falling into Utah. So that some of that would be low elevation as well, low elevation snow into this weekend. I wouldn't call it, right now most models, and I've seen a little bit of this, most models do want to keep that snow off just to the east, because this is when we're still going to have troughing in the west, ridging in the east. So this is still probably going to be, the major snow is going to be to the east of Utah, but we'll see if we see a shift. But the thing about that is you could get some low elevation snow. That's when you could get some snow into SoCal as well this weekend, this upcoming weekend. I got to talk about that in my video either later today or tomorrow. I'll talk about that snow returning back into Southern California, Nevada, Utah. Austin getting scammed again. You can't be sad if you're not getting snow in Austin. You live in Austin, Texas, You didn't move there for the snow. So that's like being sad if you live in Tampa and you're like, we always get scammed with no snow, What's Austin, Texas's average snowfall per year? Austin, Texas, average snowfall. Average yearly snowfall I should have put in. Austin, Texas averages 0.2 inches of snow a year, so none. Your average is a dusting a year. Anything over that is a gift. 0.2, that's hilarious. You know, let's get back into South Central. I said this from the beginning. You could get some snow in Austin. You could outperform in Austin. You could get a half inch in Austin. You could get an inch if you're super lucky. Again, though, it's better if you're in Austin, Texas right now to expect none, because this setup, this cold air and moisture is forming off to your east. So you're not going to have a ton of energy over your head. You're not going to have a you know, a ton of lift going on above your heads in Austin. It's a ton of convection over there, so it's gonna be a little tough to see anything falling, but we'll see. Sometimes you get a little back end band that trails your system that could put a little snow into Austin. K. Halder, I appreciate it. Can it still shift more north into? It's not going to shift north, Jess. Not likely. But what can happen is we could see this low deepen a little bit more than expected. That can help pull a little bit more snow inland. But some places to the north, like I said, are going to see anywhere between a dusting to an inch up here. But it's going to be super localized. You're not going to deal with any mixing up here. Anything that falls is going to be snow. It's not going to be sleet or ice or any other, you know, grapple or any other weird precipitation up here. It's going to be snow. You're going to have very cold temperatures, so it's going to be a good snow ratio. You could have one or two stray snow showers clip off into the north. It's possible, but you know, you need a little luck on your side right now if you're up there. Livingston Parish on our local station is having sound issues. Been waiting an hour for them to fix it and update us. Livingston Parish? Wow. Oh, there we go. I mean, you guys are in a great area to see some snow there. Between or just off to the east of Baton Rouge. What do I think your most accurate snow totals are going to be there? Here. I'm not going to go crazy and say the and give you the totals that. Let me actually make sure we go European. This is our 10-1. It's not going to be a 10-1. That's why it's pulling it down. I would expect we're going to say 3 to 5 in Livingston Parish, with an overperformance definitely possible. There's going to be, the thing is, your air isn't going to be super cold here, so you're not going to have a great snow ratio. But how much moisture is going to be above your heads in Louisiana is insane. So even with a bad snow ratio, even with a bad accumulation percentage, it's just going to be such heavy snow. So you're going to see some overperformances based on that. Let me take a sip of my Red Bull. 1 second, guys. All right, I'll quickly, for like 5-10 minutes, answer questions as quick as I can. I can't go in and talk about local cities I've never heard of, though, because then I have to stop. Okay. All right. Let's get into it. Oh, by the way, yeah, I am releasing another video later to talk about my February outlook and that potential snowstorm moving. I'll maybe include the snow out west in that too this upcoming weekend. And I'm going to do a sub-only chat, I think, before I get on live. Before or after. I'm going to do a sub-only chat on TikTok for about 20 minutes so I can talk to my subs. All right, let's go. Austin, Texas, again. I wouldn't expect anything, though. You could have a trailing band that could put a half inch down, maybe. Appreciate the follows and subs, guys. Thank you. I'm close to 100K on TikTok. I don't know, 94 point something K. So I'll my wife's gonna make me a cake and then I'm gonna celebrate it on stream. Charleston, South Carolina. Not looking too bad for you guys. Not looking too bad for you guys in Charleston, South Carolina. I do think an inch to 2 is possible. You're gonna have some mixing issues. You're definitely gonna have some mixing issues. So I would expect an inch, and if you get more, be excited. You're gonna have some mixing issues. You know what I mean? So I'd say high end is 4. High end. If you get super, super lucky, high end is 4. Let's see what the NWS thinks. National Weather Service. National Weather Service thinks your high ends, yeah, about 3 to 4. Birmingham, Alabama. I think your high end's an inch, and your low end is nothing. Will Columbus, Ohio have any accumulating snow anytime soon? Our Euro doesn't really like any snow until potentially out in the beginning of February, and that's too far out to really believe. So if we're talking about it like within the next week, probably not, unless it's a dusting, half inch. Everyone's just asking specific cities instead of like regions. Asheville, North Carolina is not expected to get much if any of it with this storm. Virginia Beach still has a chance to tilt up north. Our latest Euro still likes maybe an inch to 2 in Virginia Beach, but we'll have to see. I like that the Euro the Euro trended a little bit more north for up towards Virginia and coastal Maryland, so we'll see if that continues. It's possible. What up, Kimber? What's the possibility of Fayetteville, North Carolina getting anything? I think your high end in Fayetteville's. You'll at least get a dusting, and your high end's 2 inches if you do get a snow band moving to the north. Again, you're gonna have a really good snow ratio. It's gonna be very cold in Fayetteville, so if you get lucky, I'd say there's like a 20% chance you could get an inch or more, but it's probably just gonna be a dusting. Yeah, Houston. My best guess is 3 to 4 inches still, and I'm hoping you guys overperform. 4 to 6 inches is possible in Houston. It's possible, yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if that happened. I would be shocked, I think, if you got 6 inches. I'd be shocked. If you got upper 4s, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. Pennsylvania, the whole state. Yeah, we're not expecting, except for up towards Erie, we're not expecting any snow anytime soon. Anymore. Atlanta, ATL, high end's going to be an inch, but I would expect dusting to a 1/4 inch, if anything. You're going to have a little bit of You're going to have a little bit of snow showers moving through the area. I think it's likely you'll have some snow falling, but not heavy snow. It's going to be a good snow ratio there, though, for you. Florida. Yeah, I mean, anywhere from Panama City out to Tallahassee could receive anywhere from 1 to 3 inches. So, not impossible. So, the south end of that, though, is going to be more mixing. This is going to be more coastal. Is going to be a little bit more, you're going to be on the lower end. Let me see here. Reckon it'll snow in the Tennessee Valley region again. Possibly. That's why we're watching this system at the end of January. Pon Yali, I appreciate you guys. What is the probability of Fayetteville, North Carolina getting anything? We can look at the probability real quick. See how fast I can pull it up. There you go. Now, Fayetteville. Yeah. Fayetteville's hard to find on a map because it's not by any, like, significant bend. Fayetteville in here, getting an inch or more, still thinks about a 20 to 30% chance. Anything more coming into Jersey? Probably not, unless this thing really starts to tilt up a little bit more. Not impossible. It could happen, but not likely. Why no watches and warnings in Wilmington, North Carolina? God, I can't spell. Give it 12 hours. I think there'll be some watches and warnings. Watches for a warning, it needs to be a little bit closer. So you can see where these stop. If you go and look at my radar Omega, you can see where they stop. That's just based on the timing. So these will likely extend tonight up into the northeast. No, I can't guarantee they will, but I think they will. 3+ inches probability. There you go. These areas could receive over 3 inches of snow. They almost think there's a 100% chance You got like a 70 to 90% chance. Baton Rouge over towards Lake Charles. New Orleans seeing over 3 inches of snow. Same with Houston. Over 3 inches of snow. So that's pretty good there. Yes, I mean this is basically where your snow line stops. We can push back out to the south central, but Central Texas. I mean, listen, the Euro gives you a 0% chance to see snow into Dallas. You can see a dusting, or to see snow into Austin, or Port St. Joe. Where's Port St. Joe, Florida? Oh, down there near Apalachicola. Yeah, you guys may end up with no snow on the ground, and I'm just being honest. But let me, you guys have got about, based on our Euro ensemble, 70% chance of seeing an inch or more of snow, which is really good. But the Euro down here is doing, I think, a bad job with converting precipitable water into snow instead of sleet. So you'll get snow. There'll be snow on the ground in Port St. Charles, but is it going to be like a nice accumulation, a nice blanket of an inch? It's going to be tough. The Euro thinks so. The Euro still thinks so. I'd take the under, though. But I'm hoping for your guys' sake that it does accumulate well. I wonder what the beaches will look like when the snow blankets them. Yeah. Florida beaches with snow on them. It's weird. Let's see. Upstate New York. I mean, upstate New York, yeah, we're worrying about, obviously, just lake effect. No big snow system moving through there anytime soon. We'll see it again in about a week. We may have one more system moving through the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. That I talk about that a little bit in my video that I posted today. This will be the last. No, Dewan, I think we'll have one more snowstorm for the north or for the East Coast in January, but it's probably going to be a little bit farther up to the north. But for the winter, no, we'll have plenty more winter storms. Again, I think the end of February and early March, we could see active winter weather late in the winter season. So that's what we're watching. Can you show us how the storm is going to work? Where's the low bringing the precipitation right now? Yeah, let's get into this real quick. I'll show you the HRRR just because it has the most detail. So I'll show you just so you can kind of see. Although I think our Euro is going to handle this better right now. Actually, the GFS might do a really good job. This is, we're near the subtropics down here, which is crazy that we're talking about snow. So, yeah, let's get into just national. You guys can see it down there at the bottom. Let me fix it actually for you guys really quickly on TikTok. There you go. Okay. Starts to form right down there in southeastern Texas. Kind of stalls, not moving very much. That's why you could get a lot of accumulation right in the beginning. Okay, you got a 10-20 low pressure moving across the central Gulf. The low's pretty far to your south, which is pretty good. The kind of center of this low pressure, because that's going to help keep some of that warmer air down south. Maybe keep out some of that mixing. You can see there wants to be a little mixing and actually rain ahead of this system. So you might get rain anywhere from, really, you're probably going to get a little rain in central and southern Louisiana. Central and southern Louisiana. Let me actually go down there so you guys can see this better. You'll probably get rain in central and southern Louisiana before you get snow. Rain, mixing, and then eventually. So if it's raining and mixing for 5 hours, don't freak out. That's kind of what everyone did in Philly. They're like, it's raining and mixing, and I was like, wait for it. My friends were like, you said we were gonna get snow in Philly when the game had first started, and I said, wait for it. Come third quarter, all that snow came in. It was just back end. Here we go. Rain, mixing, and then boom. You're going to have that cold air push in. It's going to start moving out. You're going to see rain and mixing out ahead of this system, too, as it moves into Mississippi, Alabama, and the panhandle of Florida. And then we'll push into, let's go get out into the southeast. Here it comes into the southeast. Again, a little bit of mixing and rain out ahead of the system. You can see it. This is going to make some tough conversions. This is going to take away a little bit of the projected snow. And then you can see right along the coastal Florida, moving towards the Big Bend, sleet and mixing. Now, there are some pockets in here where you see this hot pink, where these are crazy snowfall totals. So who knows? You might see a crazy snow total through one of these areas. And again, lots of rain up ahead of this thing and mixing as it moves through Georgia, through South Carolina, and then up into North Carolina. And then you get this. This is a very interesting look as well. You have almost blizzard-like conditions here, complete mixing into here, and then like thunderstorms down here. So really, really crazy stuff. This is probably going to be mostly ice. This actually isn't even showing as ice. This is showing as sleet right now. But there's going to be some freezing rain in there. And then you can see a little bit more freezing rain on the back end. So that's the HRRR. The European handles it somewhat similarly. The European's going to throw a little bit more snow to the north, which I think is actually accurate. You can see a blanket of snow on the European moving to the north. This is going to be very quick, very light, but your snow ratio up here, it's going to be very cold. So you could get some quick accumulations up there possible. You can see this. This is why you still have a possibility of some snow up in these areas. Up in upstate, from Atlanta, upstate South Carolina, close to Charlotte. Possibility. Don't expect much. But I do think we're going to have some lingering snow showers to the north where there's a really good snow ratio. So that's what's happening with that. You can see over here, by the way, some of these really, really where you see this hot pink moving through. Louisiana, these are really, really, really quickly accumulating. This is really fast accumulating snow. A couple inches an hour. All right, let's get back into... One second, guys. All right, there we go. Yali, I appreciate you. ETA precipitation getting to southeastern Louisiana. I mean, Monday at midnight, I think is a pretty good estimation. Moving in southeastern, that'd probably be later. Afternoon hours of Tuesday. I think it's going to start pushing into Louisiana around midnight tonight. So, but it's really going to be an afternoon event for most of Louisiana tomorrow into the evening. Snow might crank, and snow's going to crank up into the evening time when temperatures start to drop even more. South Carolina, I just talked about that. South Carolina is actually on the screen right now. You do have possibilities for 1 inch to 2 inches in almost all of South Carolina except for very, very upstate. Although a stray snow shower will accumulate quickly up there. It's just less likely. Coastal, it shows the highest totals, although I am worried about mixing in coastal, but there's potential for it. That's where the most moisture is going to be. Yep. We got like 1,700 people in here on TikTok. Wow, TikTok's back. Holy crap. Holy crap, guys. And YouTube's kind of popping off too. Everything's popping off. Thank you, guys. I appreciate anyone being in here. For anyone who doesn't know me, I make posts every single day. I live stream every single day with these updates. So hoping to do this full time in the future, but I need some more time. But I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. I multi-stream on YouTube and TikTok. I don't know if I have to be careful about saying that. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that, but that's what I do. But I appreciate anyone who's subbed, followed, gifted, just being here, being in the chat, engaging. I appreciate you guys. Atlanta, Georgia, again, we're going to have, the European treats this well. We're going to have stray snow showers to the north. It's going to be local. Your blanket of snow is going to be moving to the south. This is going to be your blanket of snow. You're going to have some stray snow showers to the north. Why those could accumulate quickly is your temperatures are going to be much colder. When your temperatures are much colder from the floor to the ceiling, as we say, lower, mid, and upper levels of the atmosphere, your snow ratio can be very high, meaning 1 inch of precipitable water down here where it's warmer on the coast, 1 inch of precipitable water may only drop 2 inches of snow. Whereas up here, if you get, I don't think you're going to get, you're not going to get, whereas up here, a 1/4 inch of precipitable water could drop 2 inches of snow because your snow ratio is better. It's less dense. You're going to see more accumulation. But your odds of seeing snow showers up here and moisture up here is very low. But some people will see it locally. There'll be some scattered snow showers. So, that's why your odds of seeing snow up here is like 10 to 20%. But if you do see a stray snow band, it can accumulate quickly. It can accumulate quickly because you're so cold. Kaplan, Louisiana. Cheryl, I appreciate that. Thanks, Cheryl. Mr. Johns, I appreciate you. Kaplan. All right, so to the southwest of Lafayette. Our Euro thinks 6 to 8 inches. I would expect 4 to 5 inches. If you overperform, come let me know. If you're overperforming that, come let me know. I think that's crazy bullish, what they're expecting. Let's look at our latest HRRR. Wow, our HRRR is going crazy on these totals down here. Look at this. 10 inches. But look at this. Look at the cutoff. It almost cuts snow off in Baton Rouge, which I don't think is going to happen. So, yeah, I'd say 4 to 5 isn't a terrible guesstimation. Let me look at our. Let me actually look at our NAM 3K now. I think we'll be able to see our NAM 3K. Regions back down to the south central. We'll do here. Okay, it's not loading all the way, but I think the NAM's going to agree. The NAM's not been doing a great job this winter, so I don't want to take this. Yeah, I mean, look at the NAM. The NAM thinks 0 inches of snow and like maybe a half inch to an inch in Houston. Who in the chat thinks that Houston's going to get no snow? Our NAM has been wrong on every single system the entire winter, so Ellis, I can promise you. Okay, I'm not gonna, I can tell you with high confidence that the NAM's going to be wrong. Let's take a look at the ensembles. Here, you guys want to see something very interesting here? Let's go into our panels of winter. I'm going to look through this with you guys, okay? Here is our latest European, which is, our best snow model. Here's all the different panels. These are all the outcomes we could see from this storm, okay? All the different outcomes. Could this have turned into a nor'easter? No, it never looked like a nor'easter. Here's all the outcomes. Ready? Here's all our different Euro runs. Okay, right here, you've still got 3 to 5 from Houston out through southern Louisiana. Same with here. 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 Okay, I'm just gonna X the ones that show no snow in Houston. These are all the different runs through the Euro. There's literally not one. There is literally not one. There's literally not one. And listen, our GFS does very good with subtropical moisture. If you guys watch my streams, I talk about this all the time. This is why in hurricane season it saw Helene and our other hurricanes out like 10 days. The GFS has been seeing this big plume of moisture down here for a very, very long time. Our Euro does very, very good with cold air troughing. And our Euro has been seeing this. You can kind of see our isobar line here, this 540 isobar line here. Our Euro has done the Euro does very, very good with this cold air. So being this close within 24 hours, having high confidence in this moisture and this cold air, Houston getting away with no snow would be actually wild. I've seen wilder things happen, but it would actually be crazy if Houston got away with no accumulation. It'd be pretty crazy. So I wouldn't worry too much about that, guys. All right, let me get back here. Let's get back to our most likely outcome model. Oh, these are definitely high ends, though. I can tell you that. Definitely high ends. There we go. I don't know if I probably should have moved that over for you guys. Sorry. Will Florida Panhandle get any snow? Florida Panhandle is 100% getting snow. Tallahassee and out west are your highest chances. Once you push south into the east of Tallahassee, snow is going to drop off. I do think, like I said, we see some snow down here. I think this is going to be mostly mixing. I think it's going to be hard to even get an inch of snow on your little inlet here, northwestern Big Bend area. I know San Antonio probably won't get any, but again, San Antonio averages 0 inches of snow a year, so I'm not shocked. But this was a good chance for you guys. This likely will not come through PA, Cole. There's a possibility we get a little bit more of a negative tilt, moves up the coast, but I just don't. We haven't really seen any sort of model consensus on that. Still none for DC. God, DC's getting greedy. DC got like six inches this month already, or 7 inches, and you guys want more. Although that's still, I think, under DC's average. It is still under DC's average. But you guys will... We may have another snowstorm. That's what I've been talking about. We may have another snowstorm moving through the DC area at the end of this month. We're watching it. Any freezing rain in eastern North Carolina? Possibly, although I think your temperatures are going to be cold enough. They're going to stay cold enough in eastern North Carolina. Freezing rain, worried about this area for freezing rain. Savannah down to Jacksonville and then out to the west. Long Island's likely not going to get anything from the system. Mariana, I appreciate you. It snowed in Nashville last night. It's freezing here. How much accumulation did you get? Yeah, I saw Appalachia getting some snow. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the subs, guys. Let's see here. Let me get back to the bottom of my chat. Is there a chance that the storm could stall and dump more snow, or is that... Yeah, no, it's not going to stall. These systems are moving. You could see more snow if we see our low begin to deepen a little bit more, which is possible. Central New Jersey got 3 inches from the latest snow. Yep, well, I nailed that. National Weather Service said 5, and I told you guys, I told you guys, yes, I'm disagreeing with the National Weather Service. I have no authority to disagree with the National Weather Service, but I did. I said 2 to 3 is more likely in central and north, and then maybe up to 5 as you go north. So take that, National Weather Service. Stop over projecting snow. You know what, though? To be fair, listen. Those meteorologists are the best in the world. I'm not hating on them. I think anyone who was making those models and those projections with the National Weather Service had to have known they were over projecting. I look at these models all day, every day, and I have been for a decade, though. So it's pretty easy to see when there's overestimations, although I get it wrong a lot, too. It's, you can't get everything right in weather. You're trying to predict what's going to happen or project what's going to happen in the future in the most variable real estate of air in our galaxy behind Jupiter. That's what I always say. It's really difficult. New follower in Northern Kentucky. What are you waiting for in Northern Kentucky? Now listen. See this? See this as we go into the end of January? See this? Everyone up here, you see this? Do I think that's going to happen? No. Do I think we could see one last snow system in the end of January moving through the Ohio Valley up towards the Mid-Atlantic Northeast? I'd say 20 to 30% chance. So we're watching that. They get paid a kickback by retail stores to overhype storms so people will go buy the shelf. Kurt, you may be onto something. Money makes the world go around, right? I mean, look what's happening with TikTok. They're like, oh, wait. The government's like, wait. Okay, you're going to pay us a portion now? Okay, you can keep their data. My phone is so right. Will we get showers in Northeast Texas? What's going on, Yali? Or are we too far north? Probably too far north. It's possible. You get snow flurries up there, I think. Are you actually getting snow in Austin, Texas tonight? I wouldn't expect any. Actually, I always forget Austin's a little bit farther to the south and east, guys. I always want to put Austin in central Texas. I always want to put... So, yeah, you guys actually might see a little. Let me actually dig in on Austin, Texas. Because I always, in my brain, want to put Austin, Texas, for some reason, over here. But Austin, Texas is, like, over here. I don't know why my brain always does that. I know it's, like, Houston. Like, Dallas is, like, right here. San Antonio's down here. I always want to put Austin here. Texas is too big, okay? Texas is way too big. let me do something here. Let me dig into. Let me get it. Let me go. Let's push into our euro and get a little bit closer down here. What are our estimations for Austin right now? I want to see what based on our different models, what I would put into Austin. Give me a second, guys. I always put Austin too far into the north and west. So our euro wants a half inch to an inch into Austin. Our HRRR, I think, wants nothing, if I remember correctly. It wants to bring the snow, much farther out east. Our GFS, a blend of our GFS and euro has been really accurate lately, guys. So a blend of our GFS and euro would give Austin a chance for an inch or two. I would say if you get an inch in Austin, you should celebrate. I think you're probably going to end up with under an inch. A dusting to an inch is most likely. Your GFS is your best model if you want snow into Austin. Your GFS is looking more like an inch and a half. Your euro is looking more like a half inch. So a blend of that, you would say an inch, but I still think that might be a little bit bullish. Austin's a very tough read because Austin is on the border here. But again, you know what's better about Austin than Houston is Austin. Your moisture is going to be over Houston, but Austin, Texas is going to have a better snow ratio. So you're going to have stickier, less dense, not stickier, but less dense snow that if you do get a little bit of a band setting up in the beginning of the storm, you could outperform. That's what you got going for you in Austin. Jeez, Texas is huge. So many big cities. Mintfly, appreciate you. Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Yeah, I talked about Tuscaloosa just like I talked about Charlotte, to where you're going to have some stray snow showers to the north up here, and you're going to have no mixing issues, and you're going to have a great snow ratio. So locally, someone's going to end up with an inch where they're not expecting much. Same could be said with Tuscaloosa, but you shouldn't expect more than a dusting to a quarter inch of anything, if anything. Because there's just no model consensus over our main blanket of snow moving that far north. You know what I'm saying? I went to Florida State for... Oh my God, my ears just popped. I went to Florida State for 3 years for meteorology. I ended up leaving before I finished my degree because I was DJing at clubs and like touring and doing cruises and got my degree in sound engineering and music production. And then I kept studying meteorology. I wouldn't want to do it. I never wanted to work for a weather station. My dream was always to be a hurricane hunter, fly into hurricanes, drop barometric pressure readers. I loved hurricanes. I've been through the eye of 3 hurricanes. That's what I wanted to study specifically in severe weather. That's why I went to school for meteorology. And I've thought about going back and finishing my degree. Take about a year. It's a lot of money. I have a family and I need to be, and they don't really offer it online. You need to go back into school. So I love weather. I love meteorology as a hobby, but I probably will complete my degree. I just put in way too much work to not finish it off, but it just has to do, life's a lot of stuff happening. I mean, I do this full time and I have another full-time job. So it's just figuring out when's the best time for me. It's something I want to finish, but I mean, I've been doing this for a very long time. Let's see here. Currently a student studying meteorology at VT. Nice. I loved every second of it. I loved every second of it once I got into the major and I was taking my meteorology courses. I loved every second of it. Life happened, though. Life happened. And I had a great experience getting into music and doing that stuff with my brother. And it was a tough decision I had to make. And I always said I'd go back and finish my degree. And I haven't done it yet. But just because life's been crazy and fast. And it's a lot of money, but I'll do it. I'll finish it. We'll see when. You were definitely called for this. Yeah, I appreciate that. Do you think the stray snow shower Central Georgia could be heavy? Yes, it could be. It could be. If you got a band setting up Central Georgia, it would probably be quick, probably last like an hour, and it would accumulate quickly because of those because of how cold your temperatures are going to be in your lower mid and upper layers of the atmosphere just to the north. I mean, you're going to have some pretty, your air down here is going to be, you're not going to have good snow ratios down here. But why is all the snow down here? Because that's where all your convection is. Your snow ratios to the north here are going to be really good. Really cold air from floor to ceiling, like I said. Any precipitation that falls up here is going to fall and accumulate quickly. But there's not going to be a ton of precipitation up there. It's going to be localized based on some of our kind of clipper bands that push off to the north. So we'll see. There are going to be stories of people to the north who are like, we got 2 inches and we were all the way up here. And then there's going to be people up here who are like, we saw nothing. And that's just how it works if you're outside of your main blanket of snow. Anything changing in Austin, or are we getting anything severe? Yeah, Adrian, I was just talking about Austin. Your GFS thinks 1.5 inches. Your Euro thinks 1/2 inch. This winter, taking the average of the GFS and Euro has been really accurate. So I would say 1 inch in Austin, although I would say a dusting to 1 inch is going to be the most accurate. I'm nervous. That some of it, because the HRRR and our short range models wants our main winter weather to begin forming right off to the east of Austin. And once you get within 12 hours of the HRRR, it starts to get really accurate. So that latest HRRR run, the 18Z, makes me nervous that you could see that snow forming just to the east of metropolitan Austin. So I'm a little bit worried about that for you guys. I know you guys want to see snow. What does it take for Central North Carolina to see snow? I know, right? Western North Carolina has already seen snow. Eastern North Carolina is probably about to see snow. Central's going to miss. I think you'll have another chance this season, though. I wouldn't worry. School closures here in Maryland? Not from this system. It takes back to normal. My sub was canceled and can't renew. Wait, really? Did I lose? No, it still says you're a sub. I was gonna say that'd be kind of messed up if they took away all that. They just erased everyone's subs. Schools are closed in Houston. Yeah, I think they should be, Eugene. I am glad schools are closed in Houston. It's gonna be a mess. Wow, that's weird. Yeah, Yali, I think I appreciate you wanting to do that, but I think that'll be fixed in the next few days. Trump's going to sign, he said, an executive order today, initializing the 90-day extension. And I think, because we just got live back, right? Like we had TikTok back yesterday, but I couldn't even go live. So there's still parts of TikTok that are coming back. So I think that'll be fixed. Michelle and Yali, I appreciate you guys. Can this winter storm be worse than expected? It could be. Because there's a ton. The Gulf of Mexico is considered one of the, on average, warmest bodies of water in the entire world. And with heat comes extra lift. With extra lift comes higher cloud tops, more convection, very, very significant precipitation totals. So if we get a little more cold air injected into these mid and lower levels, and we get a snow ratio that goes up from what it's probably going to be like a 3-to-1 or 2-to-1 or whatever, you could suddenly see super big outperformances down here. Our last snowstorm, we had a little bit more cold air injected into some of these areas. That's why you ended up seeing 3 to 4 inches in Atlanta when they were projected 1, because you had the moisture there, and then your mid layer was so much colder than expected. Possibility with this, yes. Your moisture is going to be there. If you need a little bit of extra cold air, temps to go down a tiny bit more, which can happen, and then suddenly you have a big snow ratio down here. So that's we're not looking. We know what our moisture is going to look like down here. Our GFS is good at that. We're going to have a lot of precipitable. We're going to have a lot of water falling. Let's just say precipitable water. The question is, I think especially because up aloft and at the surface it should be cold enough. Our mid layer, how cold is that going to be? And if it cools down a few degrees, if we start to see a trend of it cooling down a few more degrees, then project it, suddenly our snow totals here pop up, our ratio. Which is what our HRRR is thinking. Which is why our HRRR is showing wildness like this, right? 10 inches into New Orleans, so. Southeast corner of Alabama. I mean, yeah, that southeast corner of Alabama looks good for, I think you should expect to see a minimum of an inch of accumulation. The Euro thinks about 3. What's our ensemble looking like for that? I like our ensembles, especially in this range, 2.5. That's a pretty good spot to be if you're actually like southeastern Alabama. Do you think Western North Carolina has a chance of more snow this winter? I do, Addison. In December, I said I thought we'd get at least 2 winter storms in the South in January. And I said there was a possibility for a third. We might have a third, but it's going to be up to the north. But based on we could get a southern storm late in February, another southern storm late in February, because our Arctic oscillation is going positive. That's going to strengthen our polar jet for a few weeks, and we always see multiple breaks a winter. And if that breaks again, that would give us a chance late February for another winter storm down in the south. Too far out, but I'm going to release an outlook on February later today before I get back on live 9:30 tonight. So that's what's going on with that. I've been streaming for about almost an hour and a half because I'm going to get on and stream for another 2 hours later, and I have to make another video for you guys, and I have a ton of work to do for my actual 9 to 5. I have to get off right now. I know there's a ton of questions I didn't answer. I posted a video going over all of this. It's on my TikTok if you want to watch that. It might answer your question. It might not. You can always ask a question. Leave a comment in there. But anyone who gifted, anyone who subbed, followed, I really appreciate you guys. Anyone who's just been in here engaging in chat, I appreciate you guys. I will be back on later on TikTok and on YouTube going over all this. And I'm going to release another video probably in a few hours or in a couple hours talking about, our February outlook. And our February outlook is going to be wild because I expect the beginning and the end to be polar opposite in February. It's going to be a very bipolar month. I can almost guarantee you that. I appreciate everyone in here. And I'll be back on a little bit later.